Toastmasters and our invited guests. Thank you all for being here today. Today I'm excited because I get to talk about motivation, and it's something I love to talk about because we are all motivated in some way in our life to do something great, I hope. So before I begin this speech, if someone could share what motivates them and what they're motivated to do today. Any takers? Kathy.
I am motivated to get out and enjoy the beautiful weekend we have this weekend.
Excellent. Great. Anyone else want to take a stab at sharing their motivation for today? What are they motivated to do? Kurt?
Well, actually, it's Monday, because that is Memorial Day.
Yes.
So I get over to the park, Stone Mountain Park, real early, about 6 o'clock, because it's going to be so crowded
Yeah.
and secure a place. Get everything set up before my wife gets there and my kids, and just hang out in the park, drink all day, and drink some more. That's motivation.
Thank you, Kurt and Kathy. And listening to what they shared about motivation, if you listen carefully, you notice that what they wanted to do required action. In order to be motivated, you have to be willing to take action. You have to be willing to do something differently. In my book, Practical Leadership Lessons Learned from Mickey, I have a chapter on motivation, and it focuses on leadership and motivation. As we think about leaders, we always think about the big CEOs, and we think about these major organizations. We think about the president and the senators, but think about us as leaders? Leaders that motivate not only ourselves, but our communities. Kathy is motivating herself. She is a leader within herself. Kurt is the leader within his family as he's motivating them to drink a lot and enjoy Monday celebration. But before we go into motivation, we have to step back and think what causes us not to be motivated. The biggest thing that causes us not to be motivated and to be effective leaders as we are motivated is fear. Fear not to move forward. Fear not to step out and say, I am going out on Monday. Fear for Kathy to say, I really don't want to go outside because it may rain, it may be hot. Are those things that we tell ourselves that are really realities. So in order for us to be motivated, we have to look inside ourselves and we have to overcome that fear that is within us that hinders us to take action, to stand for those things that we believe in, and to look to those things that are in our future. How do we overcome fear? We face it. We address it. Sometimes we have to write fear down. What is that thing that I'm afraid of? What is hindering me from motivating not only myself, but my family, my children, my community? And how do I overcome that? Maybe even as an individual, but maybe as a community. As we look at fear, we have to think motivation requires action. Leadership requires action. Effective leadership not only requires action, but it requires self-reflection. Fear can hinder every component. But once we dismiss fear, we become motivational. We become effective leaders to make change. What about effective leadership? What's required for us to be effective leaders to motivate ourselves? And remember, we're all leaders within ourselves. You don't need a title. You don't need a position. You don't need a car. You just need that will within yourself to take action when action is needed. How do we do that? We build self-confidence. We continue to come to our Toastmasters meeting and share and encourage one another. On our jobs, we share and encourage one another. In our families, we build up our spouses, we build up ourselves, we build up our children. And then we have a community of effective leaders at all ages, but we're motivating each other to do those things that are great. Today I said to myself as I woke up this morning, what will I do today that I didn't do yesterday? And that was have a positive outlook on life. Yesterday morning my day wasn't as positive. I woke up with a migraine. I was a little delayed in my thought process. I wasn't able to really analyze as I wanted to. I had a couple of meetings and I was just not feeling it. But this morning I woke up and I said, today I will motivate myself to push forward, to be positive, to have self-confidence, and to go to my Toastmasters meeting, encourage those people that are new to join us as we become effective leaders, effective communicators, and to be a part of this family that we call Toastmasters. Then I said, well, what about motivation? How can I speak about motivation when I don't feel it? And it's okay, because sometimes we won't feel motivated. We won't feel that we can lead because we're tired, we're distracted. But we have to push forward. We have to be persistent. We have to know ourselves. We have to be confident. And we have to think about those things that are deep inside. What do we want to do? What change do we want to see? How do we want to lead our community? Do we want to lead from the back seat? Or do we want to be that person in the front to say, hey, you guys, I have a great idea. Let's change something. Let's move forward. Or do we want to be this person on the sideline saying, it's never going to work. We can't do it. I don't like that idea. We make a choice as to what type of leader we want to be. We all want to say, I am effective leaders. I hold those leadership traits. But we also have to have that leadership attitude that is positive, that communication that we learn within Toastmasters, how to be effective communications, how to give effective criticism, how to work with each other. And then we also have to have compassion, not only for self, but for community, for our families and friends. So as I step out this morning, I stepped out saying, my goal today is to be an effective leader. While I'm leading, my goal is also to motivate one person today to make a change in that person's life. It doesn't have to be anything major. I could say to Kathy, hey Kathy, instead of staying out half a day, stay out all day and enjoy the sun. I can say to Kurt, hey Kurt, don't just invite your family, invite your neighbors. It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. Something simple can change the life of those people that are around you. So I encourage you all today, start by looking within yourself this morning as we conclude our meeting. Am I a leader? Am I effective? Do I have those characteristics, traits? Am I a great communicator? Do I have a positive attitude? Am I open to new ideas? Once you evaluate yourself, ask yourself, how can I encourage someone else? Identify one person that you can walk up to and say, hey, what do you want to do today that's different? Go to work on Tuesday and say, hey, how can I help you with your project? Say to that manager, how can I help move our office to meet our goals? Say to those coworkers, how can we work better together? We have to